My MIL threw herself a retirement party on our wedding anniversary. She said, well, your relationship's only a few years old. This career lasted 40. My husband brought her a cake. Forgot mine. I didn't cry. I waited until the party was full. Then played a slideshow on the TV, not of her career, but of every text she'd ever sent me telling me I was a mistake. The last slide just said, celebrate that. So yeah, my mother-in-law, Martha, planned her retirement party on our wedding anniversary. She didn't forget. She picked that date on purpose. And my husband? He went along with it. Even brought her a cake. Not a single word to me. No card. No flowers. Just a smile and a "we'll celebrate tomorrow, okay?" Let me back up. I'm 34, living in Davenport, Iowa. Married to Paul, 36. We met 5 years ago, got married 3 years ago. He's quiet, kind when he wants to be, but kind of spineless when it comes to his mom. She's 66, just retired from 4 decades working at a local middle school. Vice principal. Ran that place like a prison. Same way she tries to run our lives. From the beginning, she never liked me. I could feel it even before we got engaged. I wasn't what she pictured. She told me that. Word for word. I always thought Paul would end up with someone softer. More, calm. She meant obedient. Someone who wouldn't push back. Someone who wouldn't notice the way she criticized everything I did, from how I folded towels to the way I cooked eggs. Once, at Sunday lunch, she asked Paul in front of everyone, "You sure you're eating enough? You look thinner." I guess some people just don't know how to cook a hearty meal. She looked right at me. Paul just chuckled and said, "She's still learning." That moment burned. And there were more. So many more. Like when she wore white to our wedding. Not just any white dress, this full-length beaded gown, like something off "Say Yes to the Dress." People thought she was renewing her vows or something. When I told her it made me uncomfortable, she said, "Oh honey, at my age, nobody's mistaking me for a bride." When we bought our first house together, she came over the next weekend and said, "Well, it's a good starter place. Kind of small, but maybe you'll trade up when Paul gets a real job. He's a contractor. Self-employed. Good money, but not real enough for her." I tried. God, I tried. I invited her to dinner. Sent her birthday cards. Bought her this expensive lotion she liked from a boutique she used to visit. Every time I reached out, she swatted it away. One Christmas she told Paul, I miss your old girlfriend sometimes." She had such a calm energy. He told me about it later and laughed. "You know how she is." Yeah, I do. So when our 3rd wedding anniversary came up, I made plans. We don't go big, but I made a dinner reservation at this place we used to go when we first started dating. I ordered a custom piece of wall art with our vows printed on it. Small, sweet, meaningful. Then Paul came home 4 days before and said, "Hey, so Mom's retirement party is Saturday." I paused. "Saturday the 12th? Yeah, that's our anniversary." "Oh, right." He shrugged. "Well, we'll do something Sunday. It's just, this party's kind of a big deal. 40 years, I didn't answer. I just stared at him. He looked away. That night, I sat on the couch in the dark and thought about everything. Every little dig, every birthday she turned into about her, every holiday dinner where she made me feel like a guest in my own life. And I remembered the texts. I still had them. I never deleted them. The ones she sent me when we first got married, and she accidentally texted me instead of Paul. Stuff like, "She's a phase. He'll see that eventually. You raised him better than this, Mary. He's settled." And then later, "Maybe next time don't bring her. She doesn't really fit in with family." That one hit hard. So I did something I've never done before. I made a slideshow. Just black and white. No fancy music. Just her words, one by one. No context. No explanations. Just quotes. I didn't add anything, didn't edit. I just arranged them in order. Then I added one last slide. Celebrate that. The party was at her church's rec hall. She rented it out, got it decorated in blue and gold, her old school colors. Tables everywhere, banners, balloons. I showed up wearing the same dress I wore the day we got married. Ivory, simple, fit like a glove. She spotted me and said, "Oh, wearing white again," and gave a smug little smile. I smiled right back. Thought it might be nice for the occasion. Paul was helping her arrange gifts. He didn't even notice the dress. Didn't notice I hadn't said a word to him since we got there. At some point, someone asked about photos like a slideshow. She looked around and said, "Oh, I didn't think of that. But that's okay. People know what I did." I said, "Actually, I brought something. Thought it might be nice to play before the cake." She hesitated. "You didn't need to do that." I smiled. "I wanted to." I plugged in the flash drive. The screen lit up. And I hit play. First slide. She doesn't belong in our family. Next, he was happier before her. Then, she won't last 5 years. I watched people stop mid-bite. Conversations stopped. One woman's fork dropped right onto her plate. Paul stood frozen. Martha went completely still, then red, then pale. And the final slide hit. Celebrate that. I unplugged the drive, put it in my purse, and I left. I walked out in silence. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't take any cake. I drove home with the windows down. The sun was setting. It was quiet. When I got home, I saw Paul had texted me. "What the hell was that?" I didn't answer. I just sent him back a picture of the art piece I bought with our vows on it. Still in its box. Still unwrapped. Paul didn't come home that night. I sat on the couch, the box with the vow art still next to me. I didn't turn on the TV. I just sat there, watching the clock, listening to the silence. At midnight, I got another text. "You embarrassed her in front of everyone. What the hell is wrong with you?" That was all he had to say. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "I'm sorry I forgot." Just defending her. Again. I didn't answer. The next morning, his truck pulled into the driveway around 9 a.m. I heard the door open, his keys hit the counter, and then silence. He didn't come find me. Just paced around in the kitchen like he was waiting for me to break first. I didn't. I stayed seated until he finally walked into the living room and crossed his arms. "What the hell was that?" he said. I looked up at him. "You forgot our anniversary." Because I was helping my mom. She retired after 40 years. You brought her a cake. You didn't even say happy anniversary. He opened his mouth, then closed it. I stood. "Do you even see it, Paul? Do you see what she's been doing all these years? How she talks to me. How she's tried to tear me down piece by piece. She's old school," he said. "She's blunt. She doesn't mean it the way it sounds. She meant every word of those texts. Don't act like you didn't see some of them." He ran a hand through his hair. "You could have talked to me. You didn't have to humiliate her like that." "I did talk to you," I said. "Over and over. And you always made excuses. That's just how she is. Don't let it get to you. You chose to ignore it." He looked away. I waited. He didn't say anything. "You're not just her son anymore," I said. "You're my husband. Or you were." He looked up, startled. "What's that supposed to mean?" I walked past him, into the kitchen, and pulled a folder out of the drawer. It was a manila folder. Inside, every copy of those texts. Printed. Every last one. I slid it onto the counter in front of him. "You want to keep pretending this isn't real? Read them." He didn't touch it. Instead, he muttered, "You made me choose between you and her." I looked him dead in the eye. "No." She did. 3 days passed. He stayed in the guest room. I barely saw him. When I did, it was short conversations. Cold, tense, clipped. He wasn't angry. He was embarrassed. But not enough to apologize. On the 4th day, I got a call from Martha. I stared at the screen for a full minute before answering. Her voice was flat. You've caused a lot of trouble. I waited. She continued, you could have come to me directly. Like an adult. I said I tried. You never listened. You're making Paul miserable, she snapped. He hasn't slept in days. He forgot our anniversary. For you. And you've been tearing me down since the day we met. Why should I care how he feels now? She paused. Then came the line that sent me over the edge. Well, if you can't handle being a part of this family, maybe you shouldn't be in it. I hung up. No goodbye. That night, I started packing. Paul heard the drawers. Came into the bedroom, pale and quiet. What are you doing? I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I'm leaving for a while, I said. I'm going to stay with my sister in Des Moines. He looked stunned. You're just leaving? You've made it clear who you're loyal to, I said. And it's not me. I didn't ask for any of this, he said. You didn't stop it either. I left that night. I didn't slam the door. I didn't give him an ultimatum. I just left. 2 days later, I got a message from one of Martha's old coworkers. A woman named Janine. She said, I saw the slideshow. I didn't know it was that bad. I'm so sorry. Then came something unexpected. I have something you should see. Janine met me at a coffee shop off University Avenue in Des Moines. She looked nervous, kept checking over her shoulder like someone might be watching. She was always cold, she said. Martha. Everyone at the school knew it. But some of us just chalked it up to stress. Authority. You know, she ran that place like a machine. I sipped my coffee. You said you had something? She nodded and pulled out her phone. Scrolled for a second, then turned the screen toward me. It was an email. From Martha. Sent 6 months ago. Subject, regarding Paul and my name. To Janine Williams at *******.edu sent. October 17th, 2024 Janine, I'm hoping you can help me with something. Paul has made a mistake, and I'm trying to fix it before it's too late. His wife isn't a good match. I've seen the signs. If she doesn't leave on her own, I may need to find another way to encourage her. I know this is sensitive, but you're one of the few people who understand what it's like to watch someone throw their future away. Martha, I read it 3 times. She tried to manipulate people into getting rid of me. Janine nodded. I didn't respond. I thought maybe she was just venting. But then I saw that slideshow and realized how deep it went. I sat back in my chair. Numb. Angry. Everything at once. Why are you telling me this now? She leaned in. Because I heard through the grapevine. Martha's planning to file a complaint. With your job. She's trying to say you stole private messages and misused them publicly. Says you embarrassed her, defamed her character. My stomach dropped. I work in communications for a non-profit in the Quad Cities. My reputation matters. And Martha knew that. She's really going that far? She said you made her look like a monster, Janine said. She's trying to flip it. I thanked her. Got in my car. Drove for an hour, aimlessly. Angry driving. Hands clenched on the wheel. By the time I got back to my sister's house, my head was spinning. I had 2 options: hide, apologize, stay quiet, and let Martha smear me until Paul eventually moved on, and she got to act like she'd been right all along. Or fight back. I didn't want revenge anymore. I wanted the truth. All of it. In the open. So I made a decision. I started collecting everything. Every message. Every comment. Every backhanded text. Every photo I had of her treating me like a stranger in my own marriage. I called up a lawyer, just to get a read on what was legal. I wasn't trying to slander her. I was telling the truth. With evidence. I also made a post. Not on Facebook. Not Instagram. Reddit. Under a throwaway. Just a story. I didn't name names. I didn't say Martha or Paul. I just told what happened. Our anniversary. The retirement party. The slideshow. And I included screenshots. Blurring names, but showing just enough to prove it was real. The post blew up. People shared their own stories, their own monster-in-laws. Some even recognized the church rec hall from the party. But the best part? Someone from the local news saw it. A reporter. She messaged me privately. Said, "I think there's a bigger story here. About toxic family dynamics, generational bullying, gaslighting. Are you willing to talk?" I didn't say yes right away, but I didn't say no either. I agreed to the interview, not because I wanted attention, but because I was tired of hiding. The local reporter came to my sister's house. We sat at her kitchen table, no makeup, no soft lighting, just the truth. I showed her the texts. I told her everything. She asked why I played the slideshow in front of everyone. I looked her right in the eye and said, because silence wasn't working. The piece ran online first. Then the TV version aired that weekend. They didn't use real names. Didn't show faces. But people in our town knew. The church ladies, Paul's cousins, even the staff at the middle school Martha retired from. The fallout came fast. Martha's little circle started to shrink. Her bridge group stopped calling. Her old coworkers didn't respond to her emails. Her reputation, polished for 40 years, now had a long, ugly crack through the center. And the complaint she tried to file against me? It backfired. My boss saw the news story and called me into her office. I thought I was going to get fired. Instead, she said, "I'm sorry you went through that. We're behind you." Martha's complaint was thrown out. She had no case. She tried to fight it, claimed I had doctored the messages. But by then, too many people had seen too much. No one believed her anymore. As for Paul, he showed up on my sister's porch one night. Unshaven. Quiet. He didn't look angry anymore. Just broken. "I'm sorry," he said. "I waited. I should have stood up for you. I let her come between us. I just didn't want to believe she was really like that." "You knew," I said. "You saw it for years." He nodded. "Yeah, I did." I asked him one question. If none of this had happened, if I hadn't done the slideshow, if the texts never came out, would you have ever stood up to her? He didn't answer. And that was the answer. "I still love you," he said. "But I understand if you can't come back." I believed him. That was the hardest part. I believed he loved me. But love isn't enough. "I'm not coming back," I said. "I need someone who fights beside me, not someone I have to drag into the fire." He left in silence. Didn't even ask for another chance. It's been 6 months. I moved into a little rental house in Moline, across the river. Got a dog. Took up pottery classes. I still work the same job. Same title. But something in me changed. I don't try to win people over anymore. I don't keep quiet to keep the peace. Paul sends me a message every now and then. Just short ones. "I saw your car the other day. I hope the dog's doing okay. I miss you." I don't respond. "Martha?" I haven't seen her since the party, but I heard from Janine again. She said Martha told someone. That girl ruined everything. No, Martha. I didn't ruin it. You did. You lit the match. I just stopped pretending not to smell the smoke.